We are now open for business. This is Cesar Vallejos bringing you yet another episode to guide you in discovering your passion and growing your business as we learn from experts in the field. Sama-sama na naman tayong matuto sa isang makabuluhang usapan tungo sa pagpapaunlad ng inyong negosyo. Ang Open for Business ay mapapanood nyo sa Facebook at YouTube. Siguraduhin na ring mag-like at mag-subscribe sa aming social media page at Net25TV. Alamin natin, suriin mula sa mga negosyante, thought leaders at mga personalidad sa iba't ibang larangan ang mga strategies, trends at mahalagang karanasan sa pagninegosyo dahil tayo ay open for business. We've met some of the promising business persons and brands for 2023. Now, here's a rundown of the 4th Philippine Faces of Success and the 4th Philippines Best Quality Brands 2023. It's not just all glitter during the night, but a look into how these personalities manage to shine and win in life and business.
Mga ka-PSL, ako di ay sigab dagangon ng Davao Occidental Tigers. Para sa mainit action, sa hardcourt, tutok lang sa Pilipinas Super League. Ito ang liga ko.
Let's get together, so Net25.
We covered the 4th Philippine Faces of Success and 4th Philippines Best Quality Brands 2023 and spoke with interesting personalities that we can draw inspiration from SMEs and look forward to in 2023. With me is one of the awardees of the Faces of Success. As a matter of fact, she's not just a face of success, but one of the most beautiful faces here tonight. How and where or what do you attribute your success?
I believe that the success that I am attributing, particularly for tonight, as one of the awardees, will be more on the ability and also to contributing more on the renewability side, because I am the president of Sansmar Solar Power Technology, and we energize particularly the off-grid areas of the country.
There's a lot of issues about energy, and there's a lot of talk about sustainability. As a matter of fact, the government po, di ba, they have marami silang proyekto about on green energy, sustainable energy, the use of renewables. Is that your vision, ma'am, for you to also be able to look at different energy sources?
Our vision is actually more on the solar energy side, except when we talk about solar, it's more on the hybrid feature. So therefore, the type of solar that we are actually introducing in the country is to be able to energize hindi lang yung mga nasa area na kung saan may transmission line, but even do sa mga area na tinatawag nating unserved, underserved, or GIDAs, geographically isolated disadvantaged areas. SunSmart is very high on sustainability in terms of actually focusing on our advocacy of empowering this area and energizing also this particular area. So we are more focused on that side.
That's really something remarkable because it's what our countrymen needs. Yes. I was surprised in one of my interviews that there are areas talaga where there are no electricity yet. So, ito ba ay ginagawa niyo, ma'am? In what areas do you choose? What in terms of parameters or selecting regions? Do you have, like, say, a timeline where you want to focus more on, and when do you want to complete this?
So on our side, we particularly, how do we actually define these areas? we particularly work with our local government units, and then we introduce to them the technology, this solution, mainly on those areas such as the islands. We are divided by over 7,108 islands. This is our country. So imagine actually tapping these areas, energizing this area. So we go from one local government unit to another, so that from them we address actually a solution, so that this solution they can become aware and they can be able to actually address the need of the constituents. When there is a solution for power, we have solution for water, connectivity, and communication. So imagine this kind of unenergized areas right now that will have an opportunity to actually become also modern because we have a sustainable source of power.
Wow, that's well said. That's perfect. Now, another issue, ma'am, is that there are talks before, especially during the early days, early years, that solar energy is quite expensive. What solutions would be now more affordable to Filipinos?
I think pagdating dun sa question na solar energy is quite expensive, I would say that don't we think that fossil fuel right now is more expensive, right? Imagine not just the cost of the diesel right now, but even mobilizing this kind of fossil fuel to the island. So that is where the impact of renewable plays a vital role right at this moment. We tend to actually replace the diesel generators and the use of fossil fuels with the use of our solar generators.
I am sure you are also getting a lot of support, as you mentioned, from LGUs, but definitely from environment-friendly communities. So, in terms of your strategy building, in terms of responding to the needs of the constituents of the LGUs, are there specific communities or organizations that you tap in order for them to make sure that with all this, kasi ang nababalitaan ko sa iba, ma'am, there are cooperatives, di ba? Parang wherein each household will benefit from solar power.
Yes. Actually, for SunSmart, we tap both the distribution and also on the generation side. So when we talk about the distribution, that's the electric cooperatives as well. We provide them the same solution so that they will have alternative source of power, not just relying to coal and fossil fuel. So when we talk about the generation side, I will believe that this is where the ability of every Filipinos to have access to power by having also the ability to own their solar power generation system.
So in short, you are also providing livelihood projects, di ba, for
Yes.
communities.
So SunSmart, we have actually our SunSmart Ngay Chihon Foundation, and SunSmart Ngay Chihon Foundation actually addresses this kind of elements of advocacy. Elements means elevating livelihood, empowering mankind, engaging nature to sustainability. So from this foundation, we tap mainly like schools that are actually like very far and then they don't have access to power, and we resolve the need on that area because not only for the sake of the students but also for the teachers. Because like what I said earlier, kung meron tayong solutions sa kuryente, ang susunod kasi doon magkakaroon ng solution para sa clean drinking water, magkaroon ng access sa connectivity, gayon din sa ating tinatawag ngayon na communication or digitalization.
Wow, that's awesome, ma'am. In terms of infrastructure, do you think that you are also, one of this is of course infrastructure development, and with the solar power that you are tapping, it requires a lot of investments in infrastructure.
That's where SunSmart makes a difference because compared to conventional solar farms, they usually need major hectares of land. But for SunSmart, the kind of solar power solution that we're providing, we call it a microgrid system. Therefore, we don't need major land to be able to actually put those solar panels. We have our own solar power station, and 1/3 of the size, we only need our solar PV panels to harvest energy. Our system comes into a scale of kilowatt, like it's like a small solar generator, up to a scale capacity of megawatts, wherein it comes into a big container of power generation station. So we mobilize this system and put that directly on the site already, making it your own power plant as well.
Wow, that's great to know. Okay, in one of the infrastructures that I visited, like I went to the Bohol International Airport, parang sabi nila, all the rooftops, ganyan, a huge chunk of the rooftops are already powering the air conditioning of the airport. Is that also your vision, wherein somehow a certain percentage or 100% maybe of the power requirement of a household will be served by your technology?
Yeah, I would say that our focus is more or less not exactly the same, because our focus is really to isolate the power so that they will have their own and independent use of renewables. Because when we actually still connect our system to the grid, if the transmission line is experiencing major brownout right now, because transmission lines are very far to be able to actually provide to the main consumer, we're gonna have the same problem again. So might as well we isolate the power, put it from one building to another, so that even though day or night or even rain or shine, we can be able to harvest and maximize the use of solar energy.
Wow, perfect. Which is exactly my question. Dito sa Pilipinas, maraming panahon ng pagbabagyo. So, is there a specific technology where, during maybe downtime or during the rainy season, your equipment are still working?
Yeah, there are many types of solar power systems. So technically, most solar power system that people are aware of, like what you're mentioning earlier, these are just the solar PV panels. You call that an on-grid system.
Okay.
So if this is an on-grid system, that means you still need the distribution utility to connect that. Now, if it's a brownout, if it's raining for one whole day, the first thing that will actually be removed will be the power. Then your solar will go off again.
Exactly.
But then, if you go on the type of system that we have, we call it an off-grid or hybrid system, wherein it's not just the solar PV panel, we have actually our energy storage system to be able to store the power to the batteries. Then, even though there is a climatic situation such as a typhoon, the battery takes over to be able to provide the power.
Wow.
Because the next day, the sun will shine again. Even though the next day
Yeah.
the sun will not shine again, you still have the ability to actually store that power into that energy storage system.
Wow, this is a very educational interview, and we thank you very much. Before we finish this interview, I should have asked this earlier. How do you define success?
To me, success is actually doing more of what you really like to do. Success is like bringing your ultimate self to a certain purpose to be able to serve the many.
Wow. And your message to entrepreneurs, ma'am, because there's also a lot of entrepreneurs who also would want to be successful. I'm sure a lot of challenges were on your way, doing this, promoting the services that you have. What are your tips to entrepreneurs?
To the many entrepreneurs, particularly the youth, my fellow Filipinos, I encourage all of you to actually serve by purpose. When you find your purpose, that's where you find your success.
With me is Kimi Tercias, the CEO of Kimi Essentials. Hi, Miss Kimi. You are one of the awardees tonight as one of the faces of success. Ano ba ang sa palagay mo ang dahilan bakit you are awarded as one of the faces of success?
I believe it because of for being hardworking and for being dedicated to my work. And I believe that I deserve that.
There's a lot of people who are not confident, but ikaw, Miss Kimi, talagang you exude that kind of confidence. Ano ba sa palagay mo ang mga na-contribute nyo rin sa pagninegosyo, sa pagbibigay ng trabaho? Kasi ang pagiging CEO, pagpapatakbo ng negosyo ay napakahirap, di ba?
Yes po.
Ano po ba yung mga ginawa ninyo, na palagay ninyo nakatulong kayo para magbigay ng oportunidad sa mga kababayan natin?
When it comes dun sa sa product ko, nakakatulong po ako sa mga housewife, especially po yung mga single parent na nasa bahay. Wala po kasi silang confident sa sarili nila. And then I believe Fit and Bloom Coffee, yun po yung makakatulong sa kanila. Bukod sa gaganda na po sila, and at the same time, magkakaroon pa po sila ng business.
Ano ba ang meron dun sa kape at bakit
It is a 21-in-1 coffee po. Meron po siyang whitening, slimming, collagen, and immune booster. Nandun na po lahat.
So, kumbaga, parang all-in-one talaga
Yes
yun,
po, all-in-one siya.
Oo. So, ibig sabihin, nagbibigay ka na ng produktong maganda para sa mga kababayan natin.
Opo.
Nagbibigay ka pa ng trabaho. Bakit naisip mo na mga may bahay lang, housewives lang? Is this also applicable to
Sa lahat
men,
po.
no?
Yes, sa lahat po.
Oo.
Makakatulong siya, lalong-lalo na po sa mga pagod na worker. Ayan, inumin mo kasi yung coffee na yan. Maganda po siya before or after meal. Kung on diet ka, before meal. Kung hindi ka naman nagda-diet, after meal mo siyang inumin. Lalong-lalo na po yung mga nagtatrabaho dyan, maganda po siyang inumin bago matulog. Ayan, di ba po yung ibang coffee, pag uminom ka yan, hindi ka makakatulog, right?
Yes.
Yung Fit and Bloom coffee, ang kagandahan niya po, wala siyang caffeine. Ayun ang kagandahan niya. At maganda po siya sa mga diabetic.
Oh.
Which is the sweetener niya is stevia. And then meron siyang insulin plant. At marami pa po siyang ibang health benefits sa katawan. Hindi lang po siya pang whitening, anti-aging, ganyan. Marami pa po siyang ibang matutulong sa katawan po natin. And then, kaya po na-discover ko yan kasi on my childhood, yung family ko po kasi is mahilig sila sa organic. Nadala ko hanggang sa paglaki. And then, mahilig din po kasi ako sa coffee. Yung biyanan ko kasi, meron siyang vertigo, yung biyanan kong lalaki, meron siyang diabetic siya, no? So, high blood naman yung family ko. And then, naisip ko na, why not to make my own brand, di ba? Kaya naisip ko yung kape. Kasi kape is essentials. So, para po siya sa lahat. Ayun po yung kagandahan niya.
Well, the insight that we're getting from Miss Kimi is that she tried to address her own pain points. She tried to address her own family problems and develop a business out of it.
Yes.
Pero ang tanong ko, Miss Kimi, siyempre marami kang mga naging challenges bago ka maging successful. Hindi naman yan, Miss Kimi, overnight na...
Yes po.
Ano yung mga ibang
Yung
challenges?
pinaka naging struggle ko po talaga is yung pagpapakilala ng product ko. Alam mo yon, yung hindi ka kilala. You're just nobody. So, ang naisip ko is tiwala lang talaga sa sarili. Kaya mo yan. And then sa help na rin ni God. So, kinaya ko talaga. May time na gusto ko nang sumuko talaga. Kasi di ba once na bago yung product, hindi nila papansinin yan. So, walang magtitiwala sa iyo kaagad-agad, di ba? Siyempre, sa tulong ni God and family ko, ayun po na hindi ako sumuko talaga. Talagang try and try lang. Ang masasabi ko po sa mga tao is wag po sila agad susuko. Kung tingin nyo po na wala ng pag-asa, gawin nyo pong positive yung akala nyong wala na talaga.
Yes. Oh, Miss Kimi, how does it feel now that from a nobody,
Yes.
with a brand coming from a nobody, and now we can proudly say that you are somebody. As a matter of fact, you are now recognized as one of the faces of success. Ano ang pakiramdam mo na narito ka ngayon, paparangalan bilang isa sa mga mukha ng
Well,
tagumpay?
it's my heartfelt gratitude to be in this position. And then receiving these prestigious awards from 4 Philippine Faces of Success. Never have I imagined to be in this position where I only aim to help people in my community to be fit, healthy, and bloom in the midst of a busy world. Isang malaking pasasalamat sa lahat ng taong nasa likod ng tagumpay na ito at sa mga pagpupugay sa mga taong nangangarap at mangangarap pa na tulad ko. Maraming salamat po.
Miss Kimi, what if there are a lot of people who would be interested to be distributors in your business? How will they contact you? How will they find you?
Hello po sa lahat. We're open for resellers and distributors nationwide and special distributor price for all the pharmacies and beauty shop nationwide. You can visit my Facebook page, Kim Essentials, and Shopee account, Kim Essentials, and also to our Instagram account, Kim Essentials, and to our TikTok account. Thank you so much.
With me is the beautiful Miss Irma Bitzer. How are you, Miss Irma?
I'm feeling so great. Yeah.
And I think you have a beautiful crown. You just recently won, you said.
Yeah, I just recently got crowned as the Mrs. Cebu Tourism 2022, last October 23 in Cebu.
The Philippines focus, it's one of the key priorities of the government. How do you feel that somehow you are a tourism ambassador?
Actually, as a traveler and a businesswoman, I think the crown and the title really fits me. Because with my experience in both business and as a traveler, I can help the tourism sector, especially that this is the ones that was greatly affected by the pandemic and the Typhoon Odette that hit Cebu recently.
You mentioned of these calamities. Is that opportunities where you were also recognized as one of the faces of success? What did you do, for Cebu and for your countrymen that they recognized you now here as one of the faces of success?
So not many knows my story. So actually, I was really a poor kid. And I was really doing a lot of hard work to become a certified public accountant as I am now. And I became eventually a wife and then a mother. And then when I was already a mother, my husband told me, please find something that you could focus on our family. So when I was thinking that I have to give up my corporate life and I have to do a business on my own, it was very challenging. And I said to myself, can I really make it? Because I'm very used to the corporate life. Like, I have to set up my own.
It's a
from
major
the zero.
adjustment, yes.
Yes, it's a major adjustment for me. And then considering that my husband is German, I have to think of a business that is also thinking about him. Because when he arrived in the Philippines, he was really so crazy about our breads.
And what was that?
So we started with the Italian bake shop because
Wow.
it's a no sugar, no preservatives breads. And then later on, we purchased the territorial rights for Binley franchise in Cebu. So recently, we have already 3 branches. And I guess this is one of the things that is helping me to be awarded because during the pandemic, I was able to provide employment to the Cebuanos, even if it means really putting so much of money from us. But when I saw my people, I never closed my shop. Many chose to close the shop.
Exactly.
Me did not. To the point that I hosted all my employees. They stayed in my guest room so that they could have free
Really?
food, free accommodation. And I'm very happy because my husband is very supportive about it. He was like, okay, if that's your passion to help, then we help. So we were 24 hours open during the pandemic.
Wow. That's very interesting to know, ma'am. There are a lot of businesses who did good deeds during the pandemic and eventually they were awarded because of these good deeds. Is that also one of your experiences wherein you somehow, felt that kind of payback where people eventually recognized you? Is that the same experience that you have?
Yes, even my people, they would always say, we never saw a boss who is so down to earth and who's with us, because I'm always telling them we are one in this journey together. So we should not be like pinpointing whoever is the wrong or whatever. We have to help each other because when the business is growing, you will all grow. And at the same time, during the Typhoon Odette, I remember I used all my delivery vehicles to pick up all waters for distribution as donations to the different areas in Cebu. And really, I have to literally carry the containers of water, pick up from all the donations from different places. So yeah, it was a very good experience actually.
Okay, now, Miss Irma, what to you is success? Of course, this is, we're here at the Faces of Success Awards night, but a lot of people define it differently. In your case, how do you define success?
For me, success is really when you're able to inspire others and you are able to make a change in the lives of others.
And to whom or to what do you attribute this success that you have now?
So I really attribute this one to my family, who were always there for me because they believe in me. They never thought that I would really be in the area where I am now because, as I said, we were really a poor family before. And I strive so hard and I always tell myself there's always success for the people who really strive hard, who always work hard with dedication, commitment, and passion. So I really devote this to my family and also to the foundation whom I am supporting with because my advocacy really is education for the younger generation, especially the unfortunate ones, because I was once there. So
wow,
now,
that's great. We have a radio station in Cebu. We will soon be launching our transmitter in Cebu. you may want to address our kababayans in Cebuano para naman sila ma-inspire sa naging success ninyo sa inyong pagtatagumpay.
Sa akong mga kababayan sa Cebu, never be afraid to try new things. You know, as I've said, I became a businesswoman, an entrepreneur, and now I'm a certified beauty queen, and at the same time, I'm a volunteer of Bukas Palad Foundation. So I'm inviting everyone to really always try and never be afraid to achieve something. Because here I am now, I'm very proud and honored to be awarded as one of the successful Filipinos for 2023. So I'm also inviting everyone, if any of you is wanted to help the Bukas Palad Foundation, who is supporting a holistic education for younger generation, you can message them on BP Cebu Foundation page. And for those who also wanted to do some franchising business, we're open for franchise. You can just message us on IG, Binleaf Cebu Master or Binleaf Coffee and Tea Cebu.
With me is one of the experts in marketing, advertising, promotions, Miss Glenda Pingol. Miss
Hi.
Glenda,
Hi,
why
Cesar.
are you here? Why are you being recognized as one of the faces of success?
Yeah, thank you, Cesar, for having me. I'd like to say thank you first to the rest of the organizer, most especially to Mr. Richard Hinola for selecting us, for appreciating and recognizing our efforts. Our company is named Mana Venture Plus Incorporated. Ours is a marketing and distribution company. What we actually do is we make use of our technology, researches, product development, put it all together, and create our own brand. So kami, we are a local company that creates local brands as well. So hindi naman kasi lahat ng klase ng produkto that we can actually buy from the market, consumer products, are actually imported ones, di ba? There are also products that can be created domestically or here in the Philippines. We also have very strong partners ng mga manufacturing companies. So despite and in spite of the economic challenges that we have gone through for the past 2 to 3 years ng pandemic, nag-survive din ang mga small, micro, and medium enterprise.
Which exactly is the market, Miss Glenda, of Open for Business. It wants to help MSMEs thrive, even before the pandemic. But what I'd like to ask is this. It is a good initiative that you have this marketing opportunities or consultancy to a lot of businesses because based on some of our interviews, there's a lot of people who are into product development. Pero pag ang dami nilang produkto, meron silang magkape, nagtatanim sila, napakarami nilang produkto. We have the best produce in the Philippines. But in terms of marketing, packaging them, advertising them, creating awareness for these products. So, ano ba sa palagay ninyo ang trends ngayon sa marketing? Kasi lalo na, alam naman natin with the advent of social media, anybody can make use of that. So especially during the pandemic, we see housewives or people, entrepreneurs who, had to pivot at the last minute to go into their digital space. What are the latest trends in marketing?
For one, social media is really going to go at a length. It's going to be it will really move forward. It's going to develop into a much bigger community. Okay, so the retail market will still be there. Of course, we have our standalone stores. We have we have everything, the malls, groceries, and the retail markets. Nandun pa rin naman na yun. But what is important today is that with the presence of social media, the online marketing, the market has already been fragmented. It has actually given a space for those people with very limited capitalization to start up their own business.
Wow.
Unlike before, when you are able to create your product and you would want them to be advertised and you would want them to really be pipeline in the market, you have to have your own capitalization to really start with that.
You know, Miss Glenda, you deserve a 1-hour program in the show so that you can discuss more of the insights
Well appreciated.
and a lot of ideas for the small businesses. Now, small businesses, entrepreneurs are there, and
Yeah.
you may want to address them so that they can reach out to you and probably can also help them in promoting their businesses.
yes.
That is your camera.
Hi everyone, I'm Glenda Pingol. I'm the president of Mana Venture Plus Incorporated. I would like to invite everyone, our viewers, our listeners, that you open your doors to us. We are actually a marketing company and a distribution company. We create our own products. We can also create products for you. What you only have to do is to get in touch with us. We can probably help you out. If you want your own brand, pwede natin gawin yon. What we do is we partner with existing manufacturing companies and then create a product for you and your own brand as well and help you out pipeline your own brands and your products in the market.
And with me is Miss Blanca of the Manila Times. You know, it's great to see you here again. And you are one of the faces of success. Alam natin, Miss Blanca, gaano ka-importante ang media. Sa palagay mo, ano ang role ng media? Bakit tayo pinaparangalan? Bakit kayo pinaparangalan na isa sa mukha ng tagumpay?
Of course, I think the media plays a big role in our society because, for one, it has to have truth, the face of truth. Especially, you know, there are a lot of fake news. So, I mean, the role that we play is really have to give the information, factual information, accurate and timely. So I think being in the industry gives me, you know, the opportunity to be the, you know, the purveyor of good news, truth and good news. So I say that, you know, really the media plays a big role in, you know, in people believing in what's the truth and not just, you know, anything that's shared, especially out in social media, that everything is shared without any vetting. You know, with the real media, what I would say, you know, the news, there's really, you know, that sense of, how to say it, complacency among our viewers. So, you know, the media plays a big role in educating the people how to differentiate the you know, the real news
from fake news. Now, it's very interesting, Miss Blanca, that we were talking off cam about your journey, and I think that's one of the relevant reasons why you are judged as one of the faces of success. Imagine, as a background, you are a CPA, and then you were in different corporate roles. How do you describe that journey? Was it something that you really planned in terms of, you know, is that your vision? Or ano yun, parang accidental, everything?
Something like everything just happens for a reason, you know. I was telling, you know, my Kling, our chairman, that the journey isn't easy because when they hired me as the CEO first before being the president now, I was thinking that I would be in the finance or really on the operations because I was COO. But then I was surprised that I was given the role of, you know, the head of marketing and sales. But, you know, my past experience with my previous employer has given me the good opportunity to, you know, prepare for it. But like you said, you don't plan. You don't have any path towards success, toward, you know, towards your, how to say, journey or towards your profession. It just comes. So, you know, I would say that, you know, bloom where you're planted. You know, you have to, you know, I believe in that you should be the better version of yourself, do the best that you can be, and then everything will just fall into place. Just believe in yourself, do the best that you can, and you'll fit in. You know, it just happens. You know, nothing is planned for everyone. Just, you know, strive to be the better version of what you are given.
Okay, yeah, I understand that, Miss Blanca, but you are very humble. You know, I know that you are saying that because, of course, you don't want to really somehow brag your credentials. But what is it that you think have you done, you know, that companies, that corporate executives, that the bosses give the trust and the confidence in you?
You know, modesty aside, when I came from the other company to my new company, my background is really business. You know, I brought in the business. You know, Manila Times has always been very good at in politics, in I would say news. You know, but then when I came to the company, I brought in the business side of it. Just try to strengthen the business part of the paper. So I think that's one of the reasons why we have. You know, I was able to grow that sector that has been on top because my background for the last 28 years for the for the
Okay.
past company, that's my strength. So when I came, I put in a business forum, I put in a lot of partners from the business community, and I think that's it's a complements their strength, because the maritime strength has always been in the politics, news, and of course, the diplomatic community, and of course the opinion. That's, opinion has always been our core. So it just helped. So it complemented for what they have.
Okay, see, so that's not bragging, but those are facts, and thank you very much for sharing your humility and your insights on media. But for my final question, a lot of people think that newspapers will be dead, and they said that several years ago, but we see that it's coming, but somehow there's adaptation. You also go into digital. So do you believe, what's your take on print being dead or is going to be dead eventually?
There will always be people who wanted print. There will be also people who wanted the digital. And I believe that will be here to stay. Remember when the radio came in?
Yeah.
When the TV came in, the radio was thought to be dead as well. But look at that, they're thriving. Both are still alive at the moment. So I would like to think that the digital and print would always complement for as long as there will be people who wanted to be, reading their papers, handling it, There are a lot of people still wanted to have their paper in the morning.
Yes.
Bring
And
it
the
to
smell of it.
bring it to the
The smell
bathroom,
of it.
bring it to their veranda,
Yes,
and
yes. And the
it's
smell of it.
harder.
The smell of it.
Yes,
Diba?
yes, and the smell of it, right? And I think when the middle times per se, when when the pandemic came in, we were just ready to be there. We were able to be in the position ourselves into the digital community, ready to launch. So we were able to thrive even during the pandemic. My chairman's been bragging that we're the only newspaper that did not lay off people during that, but we still added some people during the pandemic. So
Wow, same as with Net25.
Yes.
It
So
was
we tried.
uninterrupted.
See?
And that was the time when we launched a lot of our
So
programs.
the saying goes that there's always opportunity in every crisis. So we thrive in the crisis. So I think it's not dead. People will always look for it. There will always be people who wanted it. There will be people who would not like it, but people who would like it. It all depends on your preference.
So what is in store for you in 2023?
Well, of course, 2023 will be a lot more challenges. Like I said, it's more with digital. We have to innovate. We just have to keep on running. Just have to go with the flow. I think, like I said, with the pandemic, people just don't have long-term goals anymore. We have to do it shorter. We do have long-term goals, but we have to adjust depending on the times, depending on the needs of our community, our readers. So we just have to keep on going. And our goal is strive and to do better in 2023.
That is perfect. Open for business. We'll be back. We read Manila Times. President and CEO of the Mercedes-Benz Group Services Philippines, Mr. payod-Bitzer. How are you, sir?
I'm very fine, thank you.
You have one of the many interesting businesses in the Philippines because, of course, this gives a lot of employment to Filipinos. Can you describe where the plants, where the stores, where the services are given here in the Philippines?
We have in the Philippines one shared service center located in Clark and in Cebu. The Cebu is the main branch. We have 600 people in Cebu and 300 in Clark. We are serving from here in the Philippines with a 24 hours, 7 days operations, the whole world of Mercedes with accounting, controlling, and HR services.
I remember during the pandemic that because of the pandemic, a lot of people will not be buying luxury brands or even cars. But to our surprise, when I was interviewing some CEOs, there was an uptick in the demand for luxury cars, even high-end brands. Why is that? Are people really, very itchy to use their money to spend on cars, or Oh, in terms of consumer behavior, how has the pandemic changed them specifically in buying cars?
I think they concentrate on value. By having the value and the lower cost of money, I call it, because we have the inflation during the pandemic. The demand was at the beginning of the pandemic, and the sources were drowning out because the semiconductor problem. By that one, we had all over the world, all car manufacturers could not produce so many cars as it could be sold over the time.
And what is it that you love in the Philippines, of course, aside from the Filipina and the Filipinos? What is that character of the Filipinos that you think makes us resilient? We had a pandemic, and there were. I was speaking with Irma earlier, and the couple had this very good initiatives to provide help, for those who were in need.
Yeah, the Filipinos, we searched for the company a home in 2011. The home was divided between India and the Philippines. We came then to the Philippines because at the end of the day, the positive elements of language, of resilience, of dedication, of service is really the basis what you need in a serving company who is serving accounting. So this was in principle the beginning of the journey in 2011 for my company, or for our company. So this company was growing then over the years by serving more and more entities. And during pandemic, because you asked me that one, during pandemic we had, not like many others, reducing hours, we had even an increase. We had, during the pandemic, the increase of the company by, at the end of the day, 50%.
Wow.
We had more people on board. We onboarded them in an online version by giving the hardware out by just contact points. And this was, at the end of the day, a huge success story to have more people on board after the pandemic than before the pandemic.
Wow. You are here, Johan, because of this award. You're one of the faces of success. So what do you attribute your success from?
I think the success is at the end of the day coming from the dedication to the Philippines. You interviewed my wife before. She's a proud Filipina. So I'm linked to Philippines, linked over the years and years which I'm coming to the Philippines, to the mentality of the Philippines, to the warm mentality, and this is reflecting by the work also to our customers, and this is somehow the dedication which you can swap over to the customer, and this is somehow the success which comes because only by this positive business card you can commit people to bring more works to the Philippines, and that's somehow the future, especially in the BPO and shared service industry. Giving a home to that one with a good English, at the end of the day, you are able then to provide more and more work for employees for the Philippines, and this is somehow my dedication to make a positive impact on the
Well
industry.
said. The camera is there. Your message to entrepreneurs, corporate people who also would want to stay open for business.
Trust the Philippine industry and trust the Philippine people because they are really capable. They're really dedicated to work and bring them to the companies the respective positive impact and the positive outlook for your own business.
With us is one of the perennial honorees of the Faces of Success. Ano po ang pakiramdam ninyo, sir, na halos taon-taon ay kayo ay isang nahihirang na mukha ng pagtatagumpay?
I feel I'm blessed and also an inspiration to everyone. And with that, we are an instrument how we can inspire more people. And I'm so blessed and privileged. I'm so honored being another part or another honorees of this Philippine Face since 2023.
A lot of our kababayans po had so many challenges during the pandemic. And sabi nga natin ay, how could you be successful in a very challenging time, di ba? So, a lot of the businesses pivoted. Talagang they adjusted. Kayo po ba? How did you adjust to ensure that you will continue, what you have been doing and be able to be still in business?
In every crisis, there's always look for an opportunity. think of a positive side of life because on a brighter side of life, everything happened for a reason and a purpose. And always think of out of the box and never give up because giving up is the birthplace of regrets. So just always have hope, and those things happen. Acceptance of challenges and problems is part of life. And make a solutions not to think much more stress on the problem, but think more on the solutions. Be solution-oriented.
Wow, wow, that's great to hear. Sir, ano yung sa palagay ninyo, what are these projects or initiatives or advocacies that you have done? Why you are again, at the stage here at this awards night?
Being a real estate licensed broker, a lot of young people and a lot of people join my company and they become now millionaires in the industry. Me as a mentor and coach, I give them guided, coming from below poverty in Bicol, having success on my own is an inspiration to everyone. And I always think of the purpose, not on just only to earn an income, but again, how we can help more people to change their life through us as a kind of blessings to them.
Ano po ba yung napansin ninyo in the real estate industry, that the pandemic has changed? Do you think, people are more conscious where to spend their money? And we noticed there are more of the younger generation now investing in real estate. Ano yung mga pagbabago na napansin ninyo that was brought by the pandemic?
You know what? We thought that real estate also will go down other business like other business. But again, Filipinos, they realize the value of properties, like having a privacy. At the same time, they have like ipon, diba? Because of walang travel. Tourism are down, there's no tourism, so wala tayong masyadong mga pasyalan. So they keep their money more intact and they invest in properties. And they think that property is most important right now because of the privacy, not having like marami kang kapitbahay na go inside yung mga tao na don't have privacy. So I think Filipinos learn about it.
And for my final question, sir, there's heavy competition in terms of real estate. There are different brands. In your case, how do you stay competitive in business?
You always adapt change, no? And always think of the box idea. Sabi nga lagi, you can like copy strategies of other people 70%, and 20% you can have to copy also what is the best standard or the best strategies of them. And you need to have something unique, 10% of your strategies, something that is coming from out of your mind or out of the box that they can never have tried yet before.
Wow, that's great to hear. Now, if you can also address small entrepreneurs, small businesses, what are your tips so that they too, can hurdle the challenges and be one of the faces of success like you?
Yes, sa ating mga kababayan, when you decide doing a business, you have to put passion because having passion, enjoy doing your business, success is definitely you can gain success. At the same time, give all the best you can because even you give all, sometimes you fail. There's no assurance of success. But again, as soon as you know what is calculated risk, again, never give up. And what is make you happy, having the passion, never try a business that you don't put passion at all.
And we are with the man of the hour, Richard Hinola. We are about to start, Richard. And so far, how do you feel that, again, this is a well-attended awards night with the many awards nights that you have been doing for the past months? How do you feel, Richard?
I'm so very, very grateful because I know my mission. Helping other people, especially the kids na may mga sakit na malala or chronic diseases.
Ngayon, Richard, alam natin na parang lahat ng mga na-interviews ko, parang sila yung maraming mga advokasya din at sila yung mga nagbigay ng mga trabaho, oportunidad sa ating mga kababayan sa panahon ng pandemya at hanggang ngayon nagpapatuloy sila. At lahat sila, Richard, nagpapasalamat sa iyo dahil sa ganitong oportunidad na ibinibigay mo sa kanila. At doon sa pakikipag-uusap ko sa kanila, ang daming mga relevant na mga advocacies at mga projects silang ibinibigay katulad nung solar energy, katulad nung pagbibigay ng mga trabaho sa mga housewives. Gaano kamitikuloso ang pagpili ninyo? Ano yung mga parameters? Ano yung criteria na talagang pinagdadaanan nila para talagang yung mga mabibigyan ninyo ng masabi nating face of success ay talagang inspirasyon sa mga Pilipino?
Well, napaka-simple lang ng requirements ko. because I really want to give opportunities to mga small people, like mga ordinary lang, to inspire other people. That's why yung criteria ko, hindi masyadong techy. So what I really wanted is, this is for everybody. Hindi to pang mayaman or pang sikat, but this is for everyone na importante na kapag-inspire ka ng kapwa Pilipino.
Now, what is your message, Richard, to both the businesses, both the philanthropists? I'm sure there's also a lot of people who are approaching you to help. Ano yung mensahe mo sa mga katulad mo, wala ring sawa na tumulong? At ano yung, paano mo hinihikayat yung ibang mga tao rin na makipagkaisa sa layunin mo?
Well, for me, napakasimple lang naman eh. If you want to be successful, you have to share your blessings to other people. Because in helping people, sharing and be kind to anyone, you will be successful.
We know that there's a lot of awards now, but how meaningful, Richard, and how relevant are the awards that you are giving to institutions, to brands, to companies, and individuals?
The advantage of my awards night is very simple. Iba yung nakaka-influence ka and at the same time nakakatulong ka. Because there's a lot of awards night right now na more on glamour and earnings lang. But for me, it's here in my heart and sharing my blessings to the less fortunate people, especially yung mga taong walang-wala talaga sa buhay. At yun ang ipinaglalaban ko palagi. Kaya naiiba po ang awards night ko.
So what do we expect from the company, from Best Magazine, and your other awards nights in 2023?
Actually po, ako po magbubukas ng 2023. That's why I'm opening the Philippine Faces of Success 2023. Gusto kong maunahan ng lahat because I want to be different and I have a lot of plans. Because isa lang naman ang objective ko eh, ang tumulong sa kapwa.
Ako kasi finally nag-open up na ulit, meron na ulit tayong mga events. And of course, gusto ko pong magpasalamat kasi iba din pala talaga yung feeling ng nabigyan kang award for being successful in your own career. 2022 has been good to me. I guess I would say it's a year of just more on taking care of myself, physical, mental. So yun po, okay naman siya sa akin. It feels good to see everyone again, especially, you know, after being stuck at home for a while. Ako naman kasi I've been going out since last year pa. I mean, no choice din naman because of work I had to. But it's really finally opening up. Tsaka, wala lang, nakaka-excite lang makita ulit yung mga tao nasa labas.
This program is
Hi Superfans, this is Paulo Balde of Davao Occidental Tigers. For more basketball action, always tune in to Filipino Super League. Ito ang liga ko.
Let's get together. Sunday 25.
making a loud noise.
rise, not just in the Philippines with this Carrots for 17, but globally. It is South Korea's biggest export and is a whopping $5 billion source of income as of latest count. In fact, one K-pop's first full English song in 2020 recorded $1.43 billion earnings, according to South Korea's Ministry of Culture. This even spiked growth in exports of merchandise and created 8,000 jobs in tourism and other sectors. The heart of Hallyu, or Korean wave, K-pop has not only fattened South Korea's coffers, but is also instrumental in generating interest in the country's culture, language, food, fashion, and tourism. Thanks to fandoms like Carrots, K-pop has spread like wildfire to become a true global phenomenon. The genius behind marketing K-pop has completely disrupted traditional promotions of products and services. Fandoms have gobbled up pricey merchandise, premium and free web content, memberships, and more. In the Philippines, enterprising Filipinos have realized the enormous opportunities in anything and everything about K-pop, from printing shirts, stickers, and accessories, cafes, pastries, travel and tours to South Korea, restaurants, just to name a few. Some fans also found massive following through content creation related to K-pop idols and successfully monetized their K-pop passion. K-pop continues to draw interest and still has a lot of room for growth with its growing fan base. As the third country in the world with most K-pop stans according to Twitter, the Philippines is definitely open for business in the K-pop universe. 17 rose to stardom in 2015 when they released their first mini-album called 17 Carat. Known for being a self-producing group, members are said to be actively involved in songwriting, album production, and choreography. The group currently has over 10 million Instagram and Twitter followers, as well as 6 million monthly listeners on Spotify. Be the Sun is 17's third world tour. It began in June this year in Seoul, South Korea, followed by shows in Canada, United States, Japan, and Southeast Asia. This is 17's second visit in the Philippines, with the first one held in October for 2 nights. This time, the group is performing at the 55,000 capacity Philippine Arena. 17's performance became historic because they were the first K-pop act who held a solo concert in the largest indoor arena. Carrots and 17 made history when they won 3 awards at the 37th Golden Disc Awards in Bangkok, Thailand. They were able to win Thai K-pop Artist of the Year, Best Performance for Hot, and Best Album for Face the Sun, among other awards. Meanwhile, other artists lined up to perform at the Philippine Arena are British singer-songwriter and former One Direction member Harry Styles on March 14, and popular K-pop girl group Blackpink on March 25 and 26. I am Jasmine Agustin for Open for Business.
Open for Business is at the helm. What a disastrous new year for NAIA. On the first day of 2023, the Philippine airspace was shut down when the air navigation facilities of the Civil Aviation Authority, or CAAP, experienced technical issues causing delays to flights to and from Manila. According to reports, 361 flights were either delayed, canceled, or diverted, affecting 56,000 passengers, 3,000 of whom are OFWs. Kaagad na naglabas ng statement ang Manila International Airport Authority para humingi ng dispensa sa nangyaring aberya. Inactivate naman ng MIA ang crisis management nito at pinayuhan ang mga pasahero na maghintay ng mga anunsyo. Tugon ng ilang mga senador, nakakahiya ang nangyari at nakasira sa imahe ng bansa, pati na sa ating turismo. Baka raw magdalawang isip na ang mga nagbabalak bumisita sa bansa ngayong taon, hirit pa ng isa. Following this incident, Philippine lawmakers have suggested steps to resolve the issue, such as calling for an inquiry, securing more funding from government agencies, and making contingency plans for NAIA. Privatization talks and the establishment of the Philippine Airports Authority were also brought up. NAIA has a reputation of being one of the worst and most stressful airports in the world. It will take a lot from the government to turn things around. Sa pagtaya ng Department of Transportation, 13 billion pesos ang kailangan sa modernisasyon ng NAIA. Inutusan na ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. si Secretary Jaime Bautista na pag-aralan ang mga rekomendasyon para iayos ang air traffic system sa bansa. If air traffic and airport operation problems can be resolved, there will be more opportunities for the country's tourism, business, and economy. But for now, just like the thousands of impacted passengers, we are all in a waiting game.
Pag together, walang talo pag together. Let's stand together sa Net 25.
And our buzzword of the week is business resilience. It is the ability of an organization to quickly adapt to disruptions while maintaining continuous business operations and safeguarding people, assets, and overall brand equity. Our congratulations again to all the faces of success. May this 2023 bring you hundredfolds of good tidings as you continue your passion and quest for excellence. As we always face daunting challenges, may your goals and vision guide you in every step of the way. Let your face of success beam across and inspire others to be successful. Our quote of the week is, always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any other. That's from Abraham Lincoln. Congratulations to the 4th Philippine Faces of Success and the 4th Philippines Best Quality Brands 2023. At maraming salamat sa isang oras na pagsama sa amin upang tunghayan ang isang makabuluhang usapan ukol sa negosyo dito lang sa Open for Business. Hanggang sa susunod na linggo, samahan nyo kaming muli dito sa Open for Business. Catch us too on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe on our social media page at Net25 TV. We bring you more insights from industry experts, thought leaders, CEOs, and featured SMEs. Together, let us help encourage business development in the Philippines, sharpen your business acumen, feel the pulse, and set the trend for as long as you are informed and open for business. Ito po si Cesar Vallejos. Marami pong salamat.